Have you ever caught yourself mindlessly scrolling, only to stop dead in your tracks and click without even realizing why? Well, in today's explainer, we're meticulously deconstructing a highly specific design prompt to see exactly how that digital attention is engineered. We are literally looking at a blueprint. We're going to break down the exact recipe, pixel by pixel, subject by subject, that digital artists use to hack human curiosity. It's this wild intersection of psychology, art, and marketing, and our source material today gives us a total masterclass in building a visual magnet.
Right off the bat, the prompt demands a super aggressive text hook. Myanmar, 10 facts that will shock you. Think about the psychology going on here. The word shock promises a visceral emotional reaction, right? It breaks up the total monotony of your feed. And the number 10 offers structure. It tells your brain exactly what kind of time commitment you're in for. It isn't just a title, it's a carefully calibrated psychological trigger. And as we'll see, every single visual element surrounding this text is built to amplify that exact feeling of anticipation.
Section 1. The Blueprint, Defining the Canvas.
The prompt strictly dictates a 1280 by 720 pixel canvas. Now, this isn't just a random set of numbers. This is the exact battleground dimension required for a standard high-definition YouTube thumbnail. Why is that absolutely crucial? Because within these precise dimensions, an image has to look spectacular on a massive 65-inch living room television while simultaneously remaining perfectly readable on a tiny cracked smartphone screen while you're riding a bumpy bus. Every single pixel of this grid has to pull its weight. There's literally zero room for wasted space.
Section 2. The Main Subjects. A Study in Contrast.
This brilliantly illustrates the core strategy, pairing dignified photorealistic beauty right next to high-energy expressive comedy. The creator is casting a really wide net to catch your eye. On one hand, you've got a strikingly beautiful Burmese woman, rendered in hyper-realistic detail, calm and proud. She represents authenticity. But right next to her, sharing the exact same space, is a wildly exaggerated animated caricature of a royal scribe. It's a deliberate, massive clash of styles. The photorealism builds trust, while the cartoon injects a huge spike of energy and humor.
The crucial point is how precisely the prompt uses authentic cultural signifiers to ground that first subject in breathtaking reality. The creator specifically asks for traditional elements. You have the Thanaka paste, a traditional cosmetic made from ground bark, clearly visible on her cheeks. She's dressed in a rich silk longi using deep emerald, gold, and crimson. By leveraging these highly specific, culturally accurate details, it signals to you that this content contains real, grounded information. It establishes immediate authority before a single word is even spoken.
In stark contrast, the second subject has entirely different rules. This must be a completely fictional caricature. The prompt explicitly insists no real portraits here. This character does all the heavy lifting for the shock value. Imagine an ancient royal scribe wearing traditional garb, pointing frantically at a giant stone book. Most importantly, he needs an expressive, amazed face with thick cartoon outlines and exaggerated eyes. This is a classic digital marketing trope. That amazed face basically acts as a mirror. It's telling you, hey, this is exactly how you're going to feel when you watch this.
Section 3. Setting the cinematic scene. Background and landmarks.
Think of this as a digital artist's exact checklist for crafting an awe-inspiring backdrop that perfectly balances that loud foreground. The prompt calls for a photorealistic, cinematic landscape of Balkh at sunrise. We're talking hundreds of ancient pagodas rising from misty plains, bathed in warm golden light, all under a dramatic sky. They even throw in an optional silhouette of the famous in-lake fisherman. This isn't just a pretty background, it's intense world-building. It promises an epic journey, ensuring the visual scale actually lives up to that bold 10 facts that will shock you promise.
Section 4. Overlays and Identity. Text, flags, and branding.
What's really fascinating here is how the text and branding are handled. If you just slap text over a misty sunrise, it completely disappears. So the prompt specifically demands a dark gradient overlay to sit behind the text, guaranteeing maximum readability for those heavy sans serif fonts. Look at the visual hierarchy. A waving Myanmar flag instantly establishes geography. Myanmar is in massive, bold white letters with a drop shadow so it pops. The shock text is bold yellow, a proven attention grabber. Throw in a circular white badge for the number 10 and a subtle branding logo, and you've got a masterclass in layout.
Section 5. The final polish. Tying it all together.
The absolute secret weapon here, and maybe the most critical instruction in the whole prompt, is the demand for cinematic teal and orange color grading combined with high contrast. Teal and orange are complementary, sitting on opposite sides of the color wheel. When you push an image toward these tones,
warming up the skin in sunrise while cooling down the shadows and sky, it naturally pops to the human eye. Hollywood has used this trick for decades. By applying this overarching color grade, the artist synthesizes all those wild cultural and comedic elements into one unified, highly clickable aesthetic.
It really leaves us wondering, doesn't it, when you realize how much intense, calculated thought went into just the prompt for this single image, the precise balancing of photorealism and caricature, the color theory, the psychological text triggers. It completely changes how you view your daily feed. Just how many of the images we casually click on every single day are built from a formula this precise? Next time you find yourself stopping to click, take a split second to really look at the thumbnail. You might just see the blueprint hiding in plain sight. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.